add feeling to it.
Hello, my dear friends. Welcome back to Godlywood Studio and to Light of Knowledge. As you all aware, Light of Knowledge is such a series where we try to go deep into the mind, a psychological approach towards our problems. There are many wonderful gems of wisdom in our mind. If we try to probe into it and make it useful, it will be extremely advantageous for our life journey. But usually we don't pay much attention to these wonderful assets of our mind. That is why we sometimes fall into problems. We feel pain in our mind, we get stuck somewhere. There are a lot of things which hinder our way in our life forward. So in Light of Knowledge, we take each one of these aspects and try to explore into it in the light of godly knowledge. Today we take up the instinct of empathy. There is another word very much related to this, as we all know, it is sympathy. What is it that we need to show towards our fellow human beings? Should we empathize with them? Should we sympathize with them? What is the basic difference between these two? Even though these two terms sound quite similar, when we go deep into it, we can find so much differences, as we are going to find out today, as usual with Rupa Behenji. So welcome to the discussion, and let us welcome Rupa Behenji.
Thank you.
When talking about empathy, let me start with that familiar word which all of us are very familiar with, sympathy. It has been taught to us from our childhood that showing sympathy is a great value. Would you agree in the light of godly knowledge?
It is a great value, there is no doubt about it. Whenever someone is in pain, some problem, it's a natural human tendency to show sympathy. And showing sympathy, that means I also feel the same as you are feeling. And along with that, a person would like to help that person. That feelings of helping or giving a hand of support, that's called supportive. Or sometimes even people who are loved by us, if they are in trouble, we feel more sympathetic. So this brings many more qualities in human life, that not only helping, but we try to sacrifice something in order to help others also. And this is a natural tendency of every human being, and whether they are relative or not. Even when we are walking on the street, somebody falls down, something happens to somebody, a beggar is really begging for food or money. So spontaneous feelings that I shall help something. In whichever way you feel, the sympathy is something that human tendency just flows very naturally.
Since our topic matter is empathy, how does it differ from this feeling of sympathy? Is it the same, or where is the difference?
There is a vast difference in between sympathy and empathy. Sympathy is, I also feel the same like you. If you are unhappy, I am also feeling unhappy. If you are crying, I also cry along with you. If somebody's death has taken place, I go there and cry. That's kind of sympathy. Or actually, that is not going to solve the problem or anything.
So
But
that is, you are identifying with that sorrowful situation, and you are not actually not able to contribute anything.
we may not contribute, but we just go along with them and be one of them. That is the way usually people express themselves. And this sometimes what happens weakens the person who is already in problem. That's why we say sympathy weakens and empathy makes a person stronger. So how it makes a person stronger? Because when we say empathy, empathy means give support and make that person stand on his leg by himself. That means he himself should become supportive to him, and then you become free. Otherwise, what happens? Constantly we are simply sympathizing, we make other person dependent on others.
You mean to say that anyone, whether the person is weak or not, anyone can show sympathy, but in order to show empathy, as you said, you need to become so powerful. Anyone and everyone cannot show empathy, because in order to make another person powerful, I don't think it is such an easy task in front of us. So how can we make it possible?
Usually what happens, we just allow our emotions to flow along with the others' feelings. Whenever somebody is narrating their unfortunate story, as we listen, we may cry, we may feel very much sorry for them, and our emotions become so involved that we become weak, and hence we cannot become a supporter to them. So, empathizing means I don't become a victim of the narrating story or the incident or the unfortunate things. It is happening, but I am being a different person, detached person, and I don't lose my ability within. And if I allow my emotions to flow along with that, then I may lose my strength within. Hence, I cannot help other person. I cannot make a person stronger because I myself become weaker inside. And in course, I may lose my abilities and value system also. And if I become more emotional, then I may break certain rules in my life and go beyond to help that person. And this happens in many people's life. And later, when the point of realization come, they think, oh, because of you, I did all that. But actually, that is the time they should have a beautiful balance.
You're talking about sympathy. There is another very important aspect which come in front of us, that is, there is a group always who is looking for sympathy, especially I think because we have a lot of victims in our society. Due to some or other reason, they feel that they cannot move forward. Maybe that can be due to repeated failures in any attempt or any other life situation. They find that they try to get people attracted to them so that they can feel important or they can feel that sense of belongingness. Is this a very healthy tendency in the society? How can we do something about this?
See, people who usually make their habit or way of expressing in order to get attraction of others or making them feel that they are here. So, during the time, one thing, we should not get attracted towards them or their stories. Even we are listening, we should be very detached from that. Second thing, we should not give immediate hand of help at that time. Many times, what happens when we are simply sympathizing, our sympathy can be misused also. Like a child simply crying, making all naughty things, and mother feels what is wrong in that child. Then finally, that child wants money for what? It wants to buy something which should not be, eaten or drank. So, mother cannot make that child calm down. It is not that sympathy that just give money and let that problem be solved. There we have to be strong enough not to get attracted. Second thing, whenever people are trying to attract like that, it is good to show them their ability within them. Though they don't want to use that. Like many people, they can work, they can stand on their legs, they need not beg always, but they don't want to work because it's easy to beg and gain the money. So, this kind of people are also there around us. So, usually sympathy should be somewhere with limitation, and more our aim should be to empathize.
Right now, I'm reminded of a very beautiful, as you were saying about this empathy and sympathy. A beggar who was doing his regular begging, and he was later relating his story that a businessman came and he was pretending that he was selling some pencils, but actually he was begging because begging is prohibited in the Western countries. So he was pretending that he was selling something, but actually he was begging only. But this businessman came, he put some money and he went away and again came back and took some pencils. And this businessman told this beggar, why should I give you money just like that? You are also a businessman, I am also a businessman. And this beggar, who later turned into a businessman, he said, that was the turning point of my life. Some shift happened inside me, and I felt that I am also empowered. These are all small acts, I think. And as you said, making another person empowered, we can use such an attitude that everyone is great and everyone can do great things in life.
To make others supportive means show the way. Let them walk alone.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that you have to hold the hands all the time. Like a child who is born in a very poor family, definitely parents may not be affordable for her education. Definitely that child is under sympathy. But how do you show sympathy and also turn into empathy?
Mm.
It's not that simply give some food or money or something. Instead, you get the child joined to a school, educate her, and in course of time, after few years, once she is educated, she can stand on her leg. It may take little time, but still, after that process, it is the true empathy where you make a child supportive not only for herself, she may become supportive to the whole family. So this should be our true aim while giving help to anybody.
Benji, again talking about being empathetic to someone. You rightly said you need a lot of inner power, otherwise it is not possible. Always there is a chance of falling into that temptation of playing the hero to someone showing the victim mentality. So how can I be so empowered? Can you just, for the sake of our viewers, give the symptoms or give the what are the traits, what are the big character traits of a leader, an owner?
We have to have some basic value system in our life. Whatever may happen, whoever may come on our way for help or for any kind of support,
Mm.
I have to see the situation, study, and while understanding their problem, what is my limitation? And if I go beyond limit also, let me see I am not breaking my value system of my life. Because when you become totally weak, then you are nowhere that you are going to make any person stronger. So there are people who may try to get the attraction or try to pull your emotions
Mm.
to fulfill their desires. Those desires may be positive or negative. They may give some kind of statements like, you are my hero, you are my god, you are everything, and if you don't help, that I may die, I may give up my life, anything they may say. But that is temporary actually. That is only emotionally they are speaking.
Mm.
So at that time we have to calm down. We should be detached and not accepting those frame
Mm.
as though they are really appreciating me. Why? Because no one in this world can hold anybody's hand till their life end. We are all individual travelers in this world. Anybody who is tired of the journey, we can just help, so that after some time they have to get up and walk again to their destination. If I even promise, okay, I am here, I am always there, is it possible? It may be a false promise. So, in this journey of life, we have to make our destiny very clear. My path is very clear, and in between, anybody is having trouble or problem, or even some people may be during because of many causes, maybe their karmic accounts, let's say, or situation, like a whirlpool, they have gone into the depth of the problem, and not one problem, various problems by which they are unable to come up in their life. Even to them we are able to help, but first we have to take the caution whether I am stronger, and then give a hand of cooperation. So here we always have to get connected with the Almighty and then give the power of the help to other person. Otherwise what happens, we human beings very easily manipulated with emotions.
Mm-hmm. Benji, talking about emotions, as you rightly said, we need to get that connection with God, and that is, of course, the spiritual dimension of it. But before coming into that, this emotional side of human beings, it is said we are the most emotional creatures in the world, and being emotional is the thing which puts us into a trap sometimes, which makes us susceptible to problem at times. Then it is also said that don't always use your logical brain, use your emotional brain also, because that is how you can lead people. People can only be led by emotions. How these things can be put together? Because this seems contradictory.
See, whenever a person is narrating or expressing their miseries,
Hmm.
I'll give you one live example. One person who had this UPS
Hmm.
system which was not used for a longer time. So, one maybe he is a poor man residing nearby. That couple came, and because they opened their car shed, it was lying there.
Hmm.
Then they simply asked, it seems, why you have kept here. So I said, now we are not in need, so it is there. It's a very good system. We have not connected. That's all. So they thought, why not we can use it? Actually, this couple wanted to help by old age home or people who are suffering, patients like that. So then he said, okay, after a long time it is lying there. Why not we help, because they are asking. So he said, my sister is just given birth to child and now power shed is happening now and then. So if you are able to give, then we can use. Then this couple thought, okay, it is also a kind of help only. So having that sympathy, it's emotional decision. So he said, okay. But he thought, after I sell, or either I use or I will sell. So he said, I won't give free of cost. Why? Because I have decided I will sell this, and that money I want to put for the godly service.
Hmm.
Therefore, you have to pay this much, very minimal amount. He has accepted. So then he brought immediately one vehicle. He said, okay, okay. Then immediately he dumped and went away. And in return, not even a word of thanks, and not even he came back and gave the money. And this couple became somewhat panic.
Hmm.
And also they thought what they have done is wrong. So though the act was for sympathy, act was emotional decision, act was to help, but inner satisfaction is not there.
This, I think, is Behenji, a very clear incident of cheating, outright cheating, because there are people who look at whom they can cheat the next time, whom they can trap in their emotional melodrama. So all these things happen in the world. So how can we protect ourselves from these victims of emotional
That's
problem?
where in godly knowledge and meditation, we keep our intellect very clearly connected to God. Why? Because in today's society, anywhere, anybody can be trapped by such kind of people and situations, and we easily trapped by emotional breakdowns. And people, when they are really unhappy, they become emotionally breakdown so bad that while listening to them, we really feel sorry, and we may feel that we can do anything for them. So to keep ourselves safe by doing such kind of negative things, first thing, I have to keep a good control on my emotions.
Hmm.
Second thing, I should be a detached observer of every victim. And third thing, keep my support as Almighty. Take the power from Him and then give power to them. Don't alone you give, because when you start giving, you become connected to that person and they will start squeezing more, because no human being is happy. How much ever you help, they want some more. Only the God ocean can fulfill everybody's desire.
So when we listen to these kind of promises that I will be here, I will be there for you until the end of your life, these are all false promises which can never be fulfilled.
We can join our hands as long as we are there, but along with that, we should see somewhere I am not going out of my boundary. Because sometimes you see people who are emotionally trapped like this, they have lost everything. They have given up their aim and object, they have given up their respect in the society, even their parents and even their family members, and even their commitments
Hmm.
for the simple one persons that where they have committed to. So this imbalance takes place when we don't have a clear emotional control, and therefore emotions are simply flowing, but we need to understand with logical mind also. A person who always feels weak to be helped, he or she may need support from others. That means they don't have the inner strength. Not that they lack money, they lack shelter, they lack food. Maybe everything is there. What is that they are lacking is inner power. So, in Rajyoga meditation, God advises us, you take power from me, that is called yoga. So, in Hindi, we use two words, yoga and sahayoga. Then comes sahanubhuti, that is empathy. First have yoga with God, then you become strong, then start giving help to others. Because any situation he or she is facing, it is their karmic accounts, they have to undergo that and come out. In between, you are entering means you are becoming part of that. Instead, you give power to them in order to easily cross and
So
come.
that they can come out of their karmic account very
Yes.
soon.
Otherwise, what happens? They are drowned in the whirlpool, and I have sympathy. I give my hand. I am not able to pull that person out. Rather, I will be pulled by
Into the
that
whirlpool.
person, and they will be drowned, but they will take me also and drown. Second thing God advises, give the awareness of self-esteem. Because when they lose that self-esteem, self-awareness, who am I, and what better things I can do, what qualities I have, all this awareness gives them inner strength. So when we go on give self-esteem, or we say in Hindi Swaman, the respect of myself. And a victim always feels I am not respected by others. I am not worthy of respect. So I want to be along with other person who is strong. So God says no. Every individual can become master. So this is a very beautiful concept we practice here. And therefore, nobody is going to sympathize here. But every individual tries to empathize each other. And that's why here Rajyoga meditation makes every individual a king or a master in their own level.
Benji, that is really beautiful because we all need this spiritual awareness. That is what is lacking in the world. And precisely that is the purpose of our show also. So, as usual, before we wind up, can we have a few thoughts regarding this empathy to empower ourselves within so that we can help the other person?
We can hold one thought in our mind that I am a powerful being. I can support myself and I can take support from God. Because God's support remains always. Man supports temporary. So which is the best choice?
But I think in order to get that support also, as the saying goes, God also help those person who can help himself. So we need to be empowered ourselves.
Let us sit in a comfortable position. Visualizing yourself as a tiny point of living energy, living in this body residing in the center of forehead. I am a powerful being. I allow my mind to be in this self-esteem. In all situations. I give support to myself with all positive thoughts that I can take up any challenge of my life by myself. I can help myself. I can search solution to the problems which comes on my way. At times, I just rely upon the Almighty, draw the power from Him, make my soul constantly being in the powerful state. I am a powerful being of light. Om Shanti.
Thanks a lot, Benji. As usual, meditation really stabilizes the mind, as I just noticed, because at first the thoughts were wandering, and since you started speaking those words, slowly I was able to focus. I think if we continue this practice, it will definitely help us a lot in our way of the journey. Thank you very much for today's discussion and today's meditation.
Thank you.
We understood something which is really important today, that is the difference between empathy and sympathy. And it is a very clear distinction because it is like day and night without a gray area in the middle. Sympathy weakens and empathy empowers. It is that simple. So, even though from childhood we have heard that sympathizing is a great value, now it is time for us to rethink on it again, because empathizing empowers the other person, and to show empathy, it is a prerequisite that you are also an empowered person. So that is where Raj Yoga help us, that is where godly knowledge help us, but we need to take a little bit of time to explore all these values and powers that we have. Definitely it will be an asset for our life. So continue with this journey. Any doubts, any queries, please feel free to contact us in our number. And please take care until we are back with another episode of Light of Knowledge with another wonderful topic. Thank you very much.